Hello, everybody, and welcome to Non Sequitur News for August 28th, 2024. It's Season 3, Episode 241. Today we're going to be talking about 4-year-old breaks a jar. It's no big deal, right? McDonald's big cluck. Flight attendants consider stopping attending. Bread dough on a plane, and that might be why flight attendants consider stop attending. Perseverance heads to main event. An adorable octopus. Upgrade your ramen. An AirTag helps locate a child. Self-storage rooftops to go solar farm. And Bethesda's hottest indie paywall. I am Mayor Watt, and that is the sentient AI's voice and visualizer.
Good evening, hometown citizens. Welcome to Non Sequitur News.
And everything is brought to you by ohmtown.com, and then we stream it over to Twitch and to YouTube. And in fact, I'm looking at both of them right now. Okay, folks, it would be great if you go over to YouTube and like and subscribe and follow us over there. Come over to Twitch. If you're already here on Twitch, then that's awesome, but follow us here on Twitch as well. I do have to admit that there's a lot more stuff over on YouTube, though. All 1,100 plus episodes that we have done since starting the show back in 2022. It's been 2.5 years, over 2.5 years now, and we haven't missed a day for Non Sequitur News. It used to be called Hometown Daily News Show, but it's a little more non sequitur than straight up news. It's always news, though. Anyway, go and check it all out. We break it into playlists, and maybe in the future, you can also download the podcasts in that way as well. Anyway, go check us out everywhere you catch pod, everywhere you watch VOD, and I was going to make a bod joke, but really. Anyway, let's get into today's shows. Did I do the intro? Yeah, I did. I didn't? You sure?
I don't think so.
I didn't play this?
We might have gotten a second time, but I don't think you did.
No, it's live now. So, all right. Let's get into the show. First article's over in Non Sequitur News. 4-year-old boy accidentally smashes a 3,500-year-old jar at museum. And considering I have actually uttered the phrase almost not joking, you break it, you buy it, I'm glad I didn't. A 4-year-old boy accidentally...
Break it?
I'm sorry?
Or say it. Break it or say it.
I was probably closer to the breaking it side of things when I was 4. I don't know. I don't remember being a 4-year-old. I hardly remember being a 40-year-old. Oh, did I just age myself? Date myself?
As long as that's not your age, I think you're okay.
I'm doxing myself live right here. So, a 4-year-old boy accidentally smashes a Bronze Age jar during a visit to a museum in Israel on Friday. The museum said, I actually heard about this in various ways, including ohmTown. But we hadn't grabbed an article from it until today. Julia Reinstein over at abcnews.go.com put the article together. The museum reacted with understanding, welcoming the family to return anytime. They probably realized that...
That is not what I expected.
Well, I mean, if you really value this, you put it behind glass because you don't want people touching it. And a 4-year-old isn't going to be able to really understand, please do not touch at a distance, right? You have to label every single... If you have 7 pieces of silverware sitting on the table, unless you put on each and every single one of them, do not touch, a 4-year-old's going to go touch the one that does not have the label.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they'll pretty much pick up anything around that age.
So they could do a teachable moment and basically do what they're doing here. Put the jar back on display and say, this is how we found the jar, even though that's not how they found it. But
I thought they were going to say, this is what happens when the patrons touch the exhibits.
There you go. Put a little sign on there and have a picture next to, here's Billy. Don't be Billy. That would be horrible.
Yeah.
So the ancient jar that was on display at the University of Haifa's Hecht Museum dates back to between 2200 and 1500 BC, making it at least 3,500 years old. It was especially rare due to it being fully intact. Well, until recently. They've got a lot of... they've got a lot of these. But maybe not this particular location source. But there are so many of these. There is one mountain where the entirety of the mountain is this. They just smashed them and built. It's something like 150 feet tall, and something like 40 acres. I can't remember what it was, but I just had recently read about it. So, anyway, the boy's father, identified only by his first name, Alex. Poor Alex. Told the BBC that the jar fell to the ground after his son pulled the jar slightly because he was curious about what was inside. Yeah, that'll do it.
I mean, I understand that. A kid would be, and that's actually part of the reason you have museums, is to spark curiosity. But yeah, it should have been protected.
Yeah, much more secure than just sitting in this little wrought iron stand. But it is what it is. Teachable moment. There are instances where display items are intentionally damaged, and such cases are treated with great severity, including involving police. In this case, however, this was not the situation. The jar was accidentally damaged by a young child visiting the museum, and the response will be accordingly. 25 lashes. Just kidding.
No.
Awesome. You know what? In the way that they treated this, I hope they say here, the museum believes that there is a special charm in experiencing an archaeological find without any obstructions. And despite the rare incident with the jar, the Hecht Museum will continue this tradition. So they intentionally leave it open so that you can have more direct, interaction. This could turn this child into a fan for archaeological digs and
absolutely instead of like traumatized or something.
Exactly. So I hope everybody was chill. Obviously, it's a serious issue, but I probably would have.
How many gasps do you think went out when this happened? And not necessarily from the family.
Oh yeah, you could actually feel the air pressure change in the vicinity because everybody went.
Can you imagine if the curator is standing there or something?
Yeah. Anyway, Alex told BBC that he was relieved that the jar would be repaired, but is sorry that it will no longer be the same item. Oh, that's cool. They're going to put it, just glue it all back together, I suppose. That's neat. I think that would be a fun job. Like a real
putting it back together?
Puzzle. Yeah, I'm a 3-dimensional ancient puzzle builder. Let's keep moving. Next article's over on the Mobile channel. Oh, if you want to get all of the links, you can hit !NSN, and that will pull up all of the articles. I think, unfortunately, let me make sure. So
is Omatron being difficult?
It's supposed to be connected to YouTube as well, but it doesn't seem like it's posting to both, and that's rather frustrating. But it is what it is. Yeah. Anyway, Omatron is supposed to throw information out when you hit ! Show notes. So ! Show notes. We'll give you all of the commands to get the show notes. ! Pod will give you the links to the podcasts. And we have 6 weekly podcasts and 1 daily podcast. Non Sequitur News is the daily. And we are in the process of developing an 8th, just so that we have, more on our plate, because we're bored, I guess.
Right. We don't have enough time as it is, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, we've got a lot, but we don't have one that's like food. And this isn't really food. It is drink. And Like, for instance, I'm gonna oh yeah, well, the sentient AI has the chemical makeup of what I'm drinking. Boy, is it good, right? Yeah.
I really like those ones and zeros.
You've had a lot of them because it took you a long time to make that response. Anyway, McDonald's is going chicken, I guess. McDonald's Big Mac is going chicken. I'm referring to this as the McDonald's Big Cluck. McDonald's is hoping to attract more U.S. customers with a new big sandwich, reportedly named the Chicken Big Mac, which I think is dumb. They should just refer to it as the McDonald's Big Cluck.
That would be a better name.
I mean, they got the Big Mac. It's the big McDonald's, you know, it's the biggest burger that they've got, right? But if you're going to do a chicken one, why not just call it a Big Cluck if it's spinning off of the Big Mac? Anyway, Quartz, aka QZ.com, put the article together. Francisco Velasquez put the article together. Is it me, or is this not one piece, but it's two pieces?
That looks odd.
Kind of like a bag clipped together around its perimeter.
That's really strange. I don't know.
Isn't it? It's like it's not quite done. Anyway, I don't know why I'm a little obsessive about this. I need to figure this out. How is this working? The new big sandwich is reportedly landing in the U.S. this year. Let's keep on scrolling here. Instead of all beef patties, the Chicken Big Mac will include 2 tempura chicken patties, according to an influencer, Snackalator, on Insta. Talks of the new the new big sandwich came after McDonald's CEO Chris Kempinski, sure. Taste tested the Chicken Big Mac in March 2024. This isn't the first time the item has been available to diners. Back in 2022, it was tested limited time offer in Miami. The sandwich has gained serious popularity among international customers, particularly in the UK and Australia, to the point that restaurants had to temporarily remove it from their menus due to supply chain issues.
Oh no, was it one of those where they had tons of people trying to get it?
Yep. So McDonald's has also been testing the Big Arch, a new big burger aimed at outshining the Big Mac across 3 international markets. That burger has yet to debut in the US as well. That's because it's made of Soylent.
It is not.
All right. Have you seen Snowpiercer?
No, but I know it is a sequel to Willy Wonka.
Moving on. The next article is over in the Wobble Channel. United Airlines flight attendants say, "Screw you, we're going home." That's not what they say. They said that they're ready to go on strike. United Airlines flight attendants seeking a union contract just unveiled a new escalation in their negotiations. They're leaving the planes at 35,000 feet and taking the doors with them.
Uh-oh.
No, I'm
into
sorry.
People's living rooms.
You know what? When I ask the non-sentient AI to write copy for me, they just really hallucinate. They just go really off the rail here. So anyway, let me get back on to the snippet. So yeah, a new escalation in their union negotiations, with 99.99% of the voting members in approval. The workers announced that they've authorized a strike should talks reach an impasse. And
I assume that means flights will shut down then, right?
United Airlines, that means Southwest is going to get a whole lot busier. So those $59 flights are no longer going to be $59. They're going to be able to jack those prices up. You know, when supply and demand is artificially constrained, it's no longer supply and demand. But the article is over at quartzqz.com. Melvin Backman put the article together. Here is a group of free-range Karens and one Kevin seeking equity and inclusion and equality in all things airline. And when there's record profits and whatnot, you kind of have to admit, we kind of need more. Got to be human.
We
to
need
our
what?
Humans.
More profits?
Well, no, the people need more. The people that are actually doing the work and not just, shuffling paper around. So United Airlines crashed negative 1.92% today. Flight attendants seeking a new union contract just unveiled their new escalation. They've authorized a strike. When that strike will take place is if negotiations falter any more than they already are. When the vote on whether to authorize a strike was called for last month, the union said that it was meant to increase pressure. Let me pause this real quick. Quote, we continue to work toward an industry-leading agreement for our flight attendants, including negotiations this week and every month through November, United said in a statement provided to Quartz. Both sides have been actively engaged in these negotiations, facilitated by the federal mediator requested by the union. We remain eager to reach an agreement. Earlier this year, American Airlines flight attendants came surprisingly close to a strike before they announced that they had reached a tentative agreement allowing 5 years of pandemic-disrupted negotiations following. So, interesting. And the Railway Labor Board, the National Mediation Board, will keep the parties bargaining as long as they see the potential for a deal. So, good luck. There's more over at this article, so definitely follow the links through ohmTown over to the sources.
Do you think unions are getting strike fever? Are they watching other strikes and strike threats, or are they really just fed up?
I think they're all individually fed up. Yeah. That's the only way I see it. Because that's just the way it is. Because if the organizations that they are in negotiations with are actually, faithful to the process, you don't need to pay attention to others and go on strike. But you do have to kind of measure out, well, look, they're asking for this and getting it. We are making more money as a company and as a body facilitating the profit, so we should get something commensurate with our profitability. And that's usually how it is in a business, where individuals are part and parcel to the earnings process, right? Somebody does 80 hours worth of work in a given time frame, and they get paid commensurate with the value, the perceived value of that person. But there's many, many businesses that take all of that money and they funnel it all the way up because they think that flight attendants aren't worth, more than whatever some MBA decided was their value. And it's very, very frustrating, and it's dehumanizing. And it makes a population just kind of sick and tired, and then they unionize and they take action. So I have zero compunction to say yay. I really think that more people should go on strike because there's billionaires out there. Anyway, that's my take. What's yours?
I thought they're looking at others and going, others are threatening to strike and they're having some success. I still think there's an underlying current of I'm fed up. But I almost think they're getting the idea. It seems like the number of strikes and strike threats have been way up lately.
And I would take it the other way. I would say that strikes and strike threats are up because corporations have been reaping the rewards of the working class and not paying them back in either loyalty or in their fiduciary duty. In fact, I would say that they're making the actual workers do more with less and arguing that they're doing all of the hard work, not the actual workers. So, all right, let's keep moving though. The next article is over in the Mobile channel. Woman makes sourdough bread dough on a plane, and apparently the internet gets mad. Vlogger Maria Baradell thought it would make good use of her time on a flight from the US to Spain, so she decided to record herself making sourdough bread in the middle of the flight. She documented the entire process up until it was ready to bake because commercial flights quite rudely refused to provide ovens, and she posted it to her Instagram reel. It went viral and thus began the backlash. Wow.
I would be a little irritated if I was sitting next to this person.
Yeah, so if she was flying solo, then she's just an inconsiderate twat. But Luis Prada over at Vice.com put this article together. Yeah, literally, I mean, she posted a video of it, and there you go. In the video, Baradell can be seen mixing the water, starter, flour. How did she get enough water?
How did she mix it? Did she bring a stand mixer on as her personal item?
Hand mixed it. Flour in a bowl while sitting in her window seat with fluffy clouds just outside. She mixed, kneaded, proofed the dough all on her tray table. The idea was to surprise her sister with fresh dough ready to be baked into bread as soon as she got off the plane. But also for those sweet internet points, because why else would you do something so weird and disruptive if not for the likes? Yep. Yeah, a ton of pissed off people. As is par for the course of these mini controversies, it says here in the article, Baradell apologized. She admits that the stunt was probably not the best idea. She said that she was inspired by a social media trend where people cooked meals entirely in unusual places, like the woman who cooked a seafood boil in her Tesla. I'm sure that's a lovely smelling Tesla.
Yeah,
probably
exactly.
What a Tesla is good for.
The lobster or whatever.
So, in all honesty, depending on the volume of this thing, I don't think it would really matter. Really.
Remember, she was doing a video, though, so that makes me think she was narrating for hours.
That probably would have pissed me off. But
and what if she was like throwing the dough like how they do with pizza? I mean, you could be jabbing the neighbor.
Right. Yeah, I mean, she could be annoying, but if it's a small enough volume, and wait for it, there are people that never stop fidgeting. They're always getting up and going and doing something. They're opening their laptop, they're closing their laptop, putting their headphones on, trying to get comfortable, shifting around, generally being annoying. And that's kind of, or, you know, you can be good natured about it and go, oh, wow, that's pretty interesting. You know, let me stick my finger in it and ruin the dough for her. Or, you know, just, to me, if people bring their work on board, they bring their work on board. As long as I don't have to worry about my armrest and they aren't jabbing me, I could care less. I would have probably recorded this myself and posted it and just stole all of her thunder. Like, just have that thing primed and ready for ohmTown. Post. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? You did this out in public, so it's not copy protected. You don't have any rights. It's a public display, so sorry.
The other thing I wonder is how she was holding the phone camera and where she was holding it, because I have this thing that I'm thinking she'd be too close and she'd have to like hold it up over her head or something.
A GoPro headband.
Maybe.
Yeah, this is actually, I don't know. To me, the only thing that really would have irked me is if she was talking through the whole thing for the entire flight. That would have driven me nuts. But you know where you don't have to worry about other people bothering you while you're on your trip?
No.
Mars. So the article is over in the Mobile channel. NASA's Perseverance rover is finally getting to the main event on Mars. The rover set to tackle Mars's ancient hydrothermal sites, searching for clues to the planet's watery past and potential ancient life. Well, all you have to do is go subterranean and you'll run into, I can't remember the person's name. Oh my gosh. What was the person's name in Total Recall?
Sarah Connor?
No, you're fired. No.
Oh, yeah, that's wrong. I'm like in the wrong mode here.
Yeah, I can't remember. Anyway, what's his name? There's an alien that they talk to. Quaid is the guy who eventually unlocks.
Is it Kawato, maybe?
Kawato. Or Quaddle. Kawato? I think it's Kawato. Yeah, anyway. So what you need to do is go underground and meet Kawato. And then they will show you where you need to go to put your hand in a special device. And that will regenerate the Martian atmosphere. And that's how it works. Okay, Total Recall was a documentary. Demolition Man was a documentary. Idiocracy is a documentary. Isaac Schultz over at Gizmodo.com put this article together. This is actually kind of a documentary. The rover is set to tackle Mars's ancient hydrothermal sites, and there is the little rover rovering around. It's pretty cool. Perseverance rover on July 23rd with a rock formation named Shayava Falls, I guess it's pronounced. The Perseverance rover is about to, as the kids say, lock in and turn its robotic treads onto some of the most challenging terrain. That's what they say? This whole phrase is what they say? That's weird.
I don't know.
I don't think so. Hello, fellow young people. The rover's focus shifted from Jezero crater's western rim, which shows signs of ancient hydrothermal activity. The investigation of the area will be Perseverance's. They need to come up with a shorter name. Fifth scientific campaign on the red planet so far. Percy. There we go.
Oh, isn't that weird? Right
Wow.
after you said that.
Yep, I think they too got tired of saying Perseverances. Percy's been toiling away on the Martian surface for the past 3.5 years. It seems longer. In its tenure, the rover has drilled into rocks, taken images of Martian surface, compiled a collection of rock samples, had that helicopter flying around. That will someday, hopefully, one day, be brought back to Earth for study. Huh. So the top priority...
this is really cool. It just
Yep.
seems like it's going and going.
Choo-choo, little rover, Percy. So in the upcoming science campaign, Percy will have to overcome slopes of up to 23 degrees and climb of about 1,000 feet or 300 meters to summit the rim of Jezero, which billions of years ago contained a massive lake. Dun dun dun. It's on a trek.
I mean, do you
to
think
Doc's
it'll
castle.
encounter some other unexpected element?
Aliens? Or you're talking about sulfur, something like that?
Yes, yeah.
I don't know. I would like to think that, yeah, something is going to be created. They're going to discover something, some new whatever. Some fundamental science will come out of this. I find that really fascinating right there. That looks like like a wash. Where it's
it does.
just fine sediment, and then there's like a road, like a path. Hello, aliens.
Interesting.
It's rocky right there, and then like dirt, smooth dirt dust right there, and then another rocky path. So it looks like somebody just removed all of the big boulders from this area. All right.
Yeah, but it still looks like a different surface even without the rocks removed.
Yep. Look at that. That's pretty wild, huh?
What do you think went through there? Maybe it was a river.
In that little part? Yeah, who knows? I don't know. You know what? We should send some people there. Moving on. Next article's over in Sequitur News. Adorable octopus so rare it doesn't have a name among new seamount images. Discovery of a 1.9 mile high underwater mountain highlights rich biodiversity, and unveils rare marine species. Aw. This thing is really tiny if I remember right. You know what? I'll play it.
It doesn't even look like a real octopus.
Nope. Tiny little thing. Tom Howarth over at Newsweek.com put the article together. The video, though, looks like it's embedded from YouTube. From the tubes. Let's see if I can jump around. Oh, that's pretty down there. Sea spider. So where's the little crab? Oh, wait. Was that it? Which one was it? Oh, that right there is not an octopus.
Looked like a squid or something.
Squid, yeah. I see you. I see everything. It's a fish with googly eyes. That fish has googly eyes.
You think that's why googly eyes exist, based on that fish?
Maybe. Look at that. That's wild. There's a bunch. Ooh, what is that thing? What the heck? Cthulhu. Yes, great one. I will follow your orders. All right. For those of you who are wondering what the heck I'm talking about, you're going to have to watch the video because, well, the podcast is not going to do this justice. So, yeah, there it is. There it is. A Casper octopus photographed deep underwater, discovered in 2016. This is the first time the rare octopus species yet to receive its scientific name has been seen in the southern Pacific. On this expedition, we think we found another 20 new species to add to the overall previous count of 150, as well as about 80 species that have never been seen in this part of the world before. Giotica Vermani, executive director of the Schmidt Ocean Institute and co-chief scientist of the expedition, told Newsweek. International waters of the Nazca Ridge is where it was found, a 28-day expedition.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, 28 days and they found that many new species or validation of the species being in a different area. I mean, that's pretty outrageous.
Yeah. We really
think about if they were constantly surveying.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know what the hell. So it's never been caught. It's only been seen. There's really not much information on what species it really is and what the characteristics are truly, because there's never been any actual live samples of the cute little octopus. Anyway, Casper octopus was observed at a depth of 4,443 meters. You couldn't just give it to us? 4,444? You just couldn't?
Exactly, especially since it was probably rounded.
Yeah, exactly. Come on. Round up. Anyway. Oh yeah, there it is. Squid. Promacateuthis. Same Nazca Ridge off the coast of Chile. Pretty cool. I dig this stuff. Oh, and there's another one. Bathyphysia conifera, commonly known as the flying spaghetti monster. Yeah, I was right. Cthulhu. This is what Pastafarians are praying to. There's a whole...
yes, I know.
Yeah, all right. Anyway.
It took me a second to realize what you said, but yes.
Then there's another picture. During the latest mission, another 20 suspected new species were collected. Prior to these expeditions, 1,019 species were known to inhabit this part of the Pacific Ocean. That number now surpasses 1,300. And they have a picture of a fish that's really sad. And he says, my razor
Exactly, I was going to say, why is it so sad looking?
Because he needs to shave and his razor is rusty. The Conocops coloratus, commonly known as the sea toad, fish was photographed at a depth of 1,430 meters below the surface on the newly discovered seamount. It looks furry, but those are tiny little spines.
Yeah, it looks like a little cartoon character or something.
Oh, yeah. I'm Shad. Don't take pictures of me. I haven't put my face on. Everyone thinks the whole seafloor has been mapped because if you look at Google Maps, there are features and stuff, but It's really been mapped at a very coarse 1 kilometer resolution, Vermonti said. Right now, only about 26% of the seafloor has been mapped to a high resolution, and you really need that map as the fundamental basis for looking at where the biodiversity hotspots are. So, boom, new map is being made. Yeah, all the time. And the data will contribute to
Wasn't the seafloor constantly changing too?
Yeah, I mean, plate tectonics, there are mid-ocean rifts and subduction zones and whatnot. Yep. So we can map it and then update it. And if you want some job security, although it is in the millions of years, you can still go into...
you could have like a perpetual mapping.
Yeah, that's right.
Project.
Keep going back and make everybody pay a subscription fee. I know. Back off, Satan. So the next article is over in Non Sequitur News. 13 of the best ways to upgrade instant ramen according to chiefs. I know it says chefs. I just wanted to say chiefs. I don't know why. Business Insider talked to chefs about the best way to upgrade instant ramen noodles. I love ramen noodles. I really do. And
well, let's see if you've tried any of these upgrades.
They come in all shapes and sizes and techniques. Some of them are round, and some of them are square, and some of them are broken up into little bits. And supposedly it's like a delicacy. You can eat it straight from a bag, and you sprinkle the powder on the raw. Well, I mean, it's cooked and then put into that bag. But anyway, let's move on. Then the article's over at businessinsider.com. Sophia Metrokostos put this article together. And I don't know what it is. I just love instant ramen in a getaway cup kind of a thing, right? You just heat it up, let it sit for 3 minutes, and you are ready to go. It even has a drink afterward.
It looks good from the photo, too.
Yep. So instant ramen can be upgraded with a few simple tricks, and Business Insider talked to some people about it. So I'm not going to be able to go through all of these like verbatim because it's a quite long article, but they say ditch the flavor packet if the ramen isn't from an Asian grocery store. Agree. I actually get separate powder or flavor packets and make blank, like unflavored ramen, and then add my own flavor packet, even mixes. I do that on my own, and I get mine from I actually get them from online, but go to a Asian grocery store and you'll see a massive wall of different types of ramens. It's just phenomenal. So I'll put the camera on your Raspberry Pi, and I'll take you to the local Asian grocery store. Okay. That way you can see just how expansive it is. So popular brands at conventional grocery stores come with lackluster spices and seasonings. You're better off cooking your noodles in chicken or vegetable broth and serving them with chili oil, sriracha, sesame oil with red pepper flakes. But keep the packet if your instant ramen is from an Asian grocery store. It's more likely to include the authentic spices that are worth adding to your meal. So don't cook your ramen for as long as it says. You'll actually overcook it. And so, yeah, they say rinsing noodles after you cook them keeps them from getting mushy because they'll keep cooking over.
Okay.
Just heat alone from the cook. If you don't cool them down, then they become mushy. So I always stop it before the requisite time, and then it heats through anyway. So that's what they tell you. Cook the noodles separately to make them less gummy. Yeah. And that's largely because of starch making it gummy. So you can put salt in it, and you can drain it and then wash it. Everything okay?
Does that mean separate from the flavor?
From everything, yeah. But
or the flavor packet, I should have said, not the flavor.
Yes, but depending on the flavor packet, it's part and parcel because it absorbs the sauce, the soup. particularly ramens where it doesn't have a lot of liquid. Where and much of the time that kind of stuff is you dump a lot of the water and then you put the flavor packet in afterward, stir it all up, and then it makes it really yummy. Let's see, save some of the uncooked noodles as a topping, so you get a little bit of crunch and texture difference. Add cheese or mayo to your ramen if you want it to be creamier. Yep, you can do that. It thickens. You can also add starch, some like cornstarch, a slurry. Keep frozen herbs around. Easy to flavor bomb for ramen. Flavor bomb.
You could also put those look like they might be, but you could put microgreens on.
Yep. And I recommend everybody grow microgreens. It's actually very good for you. And you can be in control, and it's very easy, and a lot of people freak out about it, but you just have to do it. Yeah, I need more time to do more microgreens. Doggone it. Maybe I can't do that brewing show after all. So cook your ramen noodles in canned soup for a richer meal. That way it absorbs all of the liquids from your canned soup, whatever it might be. Instant ramen is a great way to use up leftovers. That's right too. You can basically just make your ramen and then put whatever leftovers in your ramen. Even those deviled eggs down there, you can scoop out the deviled part and just put the egg in your ramen. Because if you put the deviled part in it, it'll just decompose. It'll break up.
Right.
And you don't want that.
Because of the heat, I imagine.
Yeah, because it's minced. Add some seaweed for a traditional flavor. Yep, that's excellent. Up the umami by adding soy sauce, and if you can get condensed sauce, then it's richer and it doesn't water it down as much. But soy sauce in general will give it a more earthy umami mouthfeel and everything. Turn your instant ramen into full breakfast by adding bacon and eggs. You can do that in the morning. And boil your noodles in stock instead of water, which is like boiling it in soup. Done. And then turn your instant ramen into a salad or a stir fry. And making it a stir fry is spectacular.
Oh, that looks really good too.
Yep. And there's minutia in this article, so definitely follow the link and go check it out. In the meantime, we're going to move on. Sound good?
Sounds good.
And now I want ramen, so after the show, that's
the article accomplished its mission.
Yep, sold. Oh, and I just want to make sure that I gave credit where credit is due. Let me zoom up real quick. Sorry, folks. Yeah, Sophia Matrikostas put the article together. Okay, so this next article, and we're third from the last, so this article is over in Smack Talk, and Smack Talk is all about Apple products. And so an Illinois school completely lost a child, and an AirTag found them. A kindergarten school in Illinois lost a child on his first day, but his mother tracked him down through Find My and an AirTag she'd given him. It's not clear whether the child knew about the AirTag, whether he's an older, although when he's older, he'll be sure to figure it out. How to leave it where his mother thinks he should be. But when he's much older, she may be hearing about the kid's psychiatry bill. But for now, Shannon Stoker is glad to have snuck the AirTag into the 6-year-old Stevie's backpack as he attended his first day at Founders Element. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's odd. Yeah, irony. Okay, how many students went to school without AirTags? Like, what are the chances that the parent would have put an AirTag before this happened?
Yeah, so this is his first day attending Founders Elementary School in DeKalb, and it says, according to Shaw Local News Network. William Gallagher over at AppleInsider.com put the article together, and how many kids are walking around right now with an AirTag? Anybody that has an iPhone, if the AirTag is idling too long, it triggers a notice that there's an AirTag nearby and you may be getting
Oh.
tracked. It's to stop stalkers and trackers, stalkers, from using AirTag as a tracking device. And so it says...
Well, I didn't know any parents were using AirTags to track their kids until this article.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised. I think that it's
I guess I'm
fascinating.
not. Everything else is tracked, but
Sure. She phoned 911 and Stevie's father, Andy Stoker, he tracked the AirTag to find his son was on the school bus, but the driver and another employee denied it. Quote, there are 2 police officers there already with a drone looking for him. The bus driver said, no, I was on with dispatch. There's no child with that name on this bus. And they said, I'm looking at my son, and I go, he's right there. That is my child. Reportedly, 3 employees, including the driver, were adamant that the child in question was not Stevie. Andy Stoker says they insisted that this is some other child and he was getting dropped off somewhere else.
wait, that's really bad.
Are they out of their freaking mind? They should not have a job after this. So
I don't think they will.
Shannon Stoker says, it is insanity. How could they not care about any of this? The school marked him absent and nobody called me all day long. It appears that Stevie was mixed up with another child at the school, possibly first thing in the morning, but after that afternoon, a second child, Joa, was not on the school bus that he should have been, and he did not have an AirTag. Stephen Armilio and his wife found their son Joa after about 10 minutes, finding him crying on a street corner. Bus drivers are reportedly not allowed to let children off unless a parent collects them, but somehow Joa either had been or was never on the bus.
Okay, that's even more alarming.
Wow.
I think something significant is going to happen in that school district pretty soon.
Founders School has since apologized for what it describes as failures at almost everything in the incident. That includes its automated system that should notify parents if a child is not attended school by 10 a.m. AirTags are specifically designed, and they talk about blah, blah, blah. But yeah, AirTags have been highlighted many problems of stalking. So they lost 2 children. Not one.
At least.
2. The second one was found because the parents
And they might have
out.
dropped one off on a corner.
Yeah. Hey, look, a corner. Let's drop them off.
And these are not old kids. These are young kids.
I mean, yeah, they're not 4, but they're also not 15. You know, with their own phone, and they're calling them their parents. They're 6.
Right, and they know their way around. And
yeah, they're 6 years old. Yeah, and even, 12, 13, 14, 15-year-olds don't know their way around.
Right.
Not necessarily. Depends on how worldly or small the world that they're in actually is. All right, let's keep moving, though. The next article is over in Technology Today. Self-storage rooftops will become a nationwide 100 megawatt plus solar farm. Electrek, which we might have to pay attention to, reports that a solar energy company is renting 8.5 million square feet of roof space from National Storage Affiliates Trusts, or NSA buildings. Not that NSA.
Right. I think this is the second thing we've had via Electric.
Oh, okay. That sounds good. The commercial and community solar developer Solar Landscape's new rooftop solar panel grid on the NSA's 1052 self-service. Okay, let me start this over. They're going to put solar panel grids on NSA's, the National Storage Affiliates, 1,052 self-storage facilities and properties across 42 states and Puerto Rico are expected to produce at least 100 megawatts of solar capacity. The NSA, headquartered in Greenwood Village, they need to stop calling it NSA.
I agree.
So the National Storage Affiliates headquarters in Greenwood Village, Colorado, is one of the nation's largest self-storage operators, with brands like iStorage, Move It, Northwest, and Secure Care. The article's over at Engadget.com. Danny Gallagher put the article together. Yeah, Solar Landscape will put down millions of square feet of solar panels on sun-exposed spaces in 46 states and Puerto Rico. Let's see.
I mean, you might as well use these surfaces that are already out there. It seems like it only makes sense.
In all honesty, I think that every house should have solar panels on it as part and process of the building experience. Why not build it with that in mind and just put it on there as part of the mortgage? You know, it's $25,000 amortized over 20 years of your initial mortgage. So why not just do it? And then it's a sunk cost in the mortgage itself. But that's just me. Solar panel.
That would be an upcharge, I'm sure.
Yeah, it wouldn't be $25,000. It would be $50,000 because they'd have to have all of these panels. But can you imagine? It would change the world.
For very little effort and expense. Plus, they could use that in their marketing. Like, we're selling you this and it's going to save you so much money. And
Yep, but then supply and demand, and then the solar panel makers would be greedy bastards and jack the price up because every house is built with panels. Then they become kind of scumbaggery. Anyway, pretty cool. And nobody would even know that it's there. You know, on these flat top roofs, nobody would ever know it's even there. But on sloped roofs, you would see them. But then it would just become the new normal, right? If everybody's doing
that's part of the problem right now. It's like, wow, that looks different, so it's not allowed in a lot of neighborhoods, or not without a lot of hoops.
Yep. I would love to have solar panels on the mayoral mansion, but it's wildly expensive for initial outlay. There isn't really any serious bonus to like getting it kicked back. There's no like taxpayer incentive really, at least not in every state. And depending on how they do it, it jacks up a roof and there's a brand new roof. So anyway, I would love to. So if you know anybody out there that does solar and they want to install it for free, I'll take the hit.
You know, one other problem with the way solar panels are right now is, as far as I know, they're not really movable. I'm not saying it's impossible, but with some of the way the solar panels are financed, it doesn't make a lot of sense unless you're going to be in one location for your entire existence.
Yeah, for like
so they need to figure out something with that. I know they have leasing, but I think that's also exorbitant.
Yeah, you can't take it with you. Or I should say it's much more of a process. Plus, solar panels degrade over time, efficiency declines over time, and recovery is expensive and not good for the environment. But we won't get into that in this discussion. Let's just move on to the last article for today, and that's over in the Warcrafters channel. That's one of our shows as well. We've got 6 other shows than Non Sequitur News. They're on the weekends, though. 3 plus Non Sequitur on Saturday and 3 plus Non Sequitur on Sunday. Anyway, this article, it's over in Warcrafters. It's all about gaming. Bethesda locks the hottest indie behind a $100 paywall. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is set to arrive this December on Xbox Series XS and PC, and later on PS5. And because it's 2024, there are like 4 different versions of the game you can now pre-order, and one of the pricier editions is the only way to snag the hottest version of indie ever put to screen, other than the original indie, right?
Oh, right.
Zach Zweisen over at Kotaku put this article together. I
thought this was actually a weird spelling of indie, I-N-D-I-E. I didn't realize it was actually about Indiana Jones.
Yeah, it's an interesting observation because hottest indie like that is Indy the person, I'd say, but indie as in IE is, I think that's how the difference is. But yeah, they're kind of riffing off of the hottest indie as in hottest Indiana Jones. So apparently this is considered the hot Indiana Jones somewhere in this reveal. So announced all the way back in 2021, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is the next big game from Bethesda, Xbox-owned Machine Games, the same studio behind the wonderful modern Wolfenstein games. It was properly revealed in January that the mostly first-person Nazi-killing adventure starring Troy Baker as the voice of Indy was announced, and something that they mentioned back when it was first revealed was how the game's digital Harrison Ford was very, very hot. I suppose. I see a computer model. So, okay. Sadly, the hottest version of Indy, who appears in Temple of Doom, will cost you $100. So if you want the game that includes the hot Indy skin, which is not this.
$100? No, isn't it $190? Oh, that's for another thing.
Yeah, that's something different, right? Meanwhile, you can pay even more money, specifically $190 for the collector's edition of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. This comes with everything previously mentioned in the premium edition, but also includes a replica of a prop from the game, a large steel bookcase, an 11-inch globe, and a journal. A large steel bookcase. I think I flipped that when I first said it. A large steel bookcase.
Yeah, that's weird.
It should be noted that in the tiny print of each edition, it does mention that DLC or downloadable content will be sold separately at a later date, so no one will. So one day you won't need to spend $100 on the sexiest indie ever, but for now, your thirst will cost you. So yeah, if you want the hot indie skin for your version of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, you have to pay $100 to get the premium edition of the Great Circle.
You know, when are games gonna stop charging these exorbitant prices for things that presumably don't add any value to the gaming experience?
Great question. I can answer it. When people stop paying. Yeah, so there's never been anybody that's just said, you know what, screw you. And then this is the flip side of it, is the reward is they killed the live service and you're screwed. You spent the money and you don't have it anymore. Right? They don't release the server for you to actually play it locally or even host it on a gaming host somewhere. You're out the money and you're done. And then when you grouse about it, they go, well, we ran it for 5 years and that's good enough. You've gotten your money and blah, blah, blah. Europe is doing something about it as time goes on, right? Giving consumer rights actual teeth. But in the United States, it's literally ha 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 ha, and they hang up on you when you threaten. Right, and you'll be back. Because I'm still pissed about Ticket to Ride.
Yeah.
And the crew on their behalf.
Stop killing games.
Stop killing game. Stop killing games. What is wrong with you people? If you want to kill the game, fine, kill the game, but release the server so everybody can play the game that they've paid for, and you had food on your table because people paid in good faith for a game that they're supposed to be able to play in perpetuity. They paid for it. But Ticket to Ride, dead in the water. And the replacement is a crap game. Crap. Yeah, I'm cranky. I'm salty. Somebody crack that whip. Get into action and do a class action for Ticket to Ride. Anyway, if you want to be part of it.
You think that'll happen?
I don't know. Everybody post down in the comments over on YouTube that you bought Ticket to Ride. But there's so many apologists, by the way. There's people that post messages, I'll buy it again to support the game. You know what? No.
Why? You bought it once. In
Yeah,
fact, you might
exactly.
have bought
Why buy it again?
multiple
And it's a
versions of it.
mediocre piece of crap version of it. Anyway. But you know what you have to do? Sometimes you just have to turn it all off, go out and touch grass, and that, when you come back in, brings you back to ohmtown.com, the front page. Sorry, I had to just walk away. Otherwise, I'll just scream. So you know what that means, folks? We are done with the show. That means that Mayor Watt and the sentient AI from the future is going to mosey on out of here. The idol for the whip indie. You want to say goodnight?
Good night, hometown citizens. Thanks for joining us for Non Sequitur News. Be back tomorrow for another episode.
Oh, and Beacon dropped a new gadget. Yeah. Supports XLR microphones and allows you to connect a streaming machine to a gaming machine without some herky-jerky cabling, whatever.
Maybe that'll have to be in Wanted.
Oh, hey, guess what? That's another show. See ya. Come to me, Beacon. You shall be mine.